All right, call to order the March 16th, 2017 meeting of Sacramento Flood Control Agency Board of Directors. Please call the roll.
Thank you. Matt Conant.
Here.
Nick Avdis.
Here.
Tom Brandis.
Here.
Brian Holloway. Cyril Shaw.
Here.
Angelique Ashby. Jeff Harris. Rick Jennings.
Here.
Matt Hedges.
Here.
Don Natoli. Susan Peters.
Here.
Patrick Kennedy.
Here.
Phil Cerna.
Here.
We do have a quorum. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This meeting of SAFCA is being broadcast live and will be cablecast without interruption on Metro Cable 14 and will be re-aired on Saturday, March 18th at noon. This meeting is also webcast at www.sacmetrocable.tv, and streaming video of the board meeting is available on SAFCA's website within 48 hours after the meeting. Members of the audience wishing to address the board should fill out a blue speaker form located at the lectern and bring it to me. When addressing the board, please identify yourself for the record and limit your comments to 3 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you. Please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. With that, Council, I believe we have closed session items. Then we will recess to closed session.
Room 2.
We have 2. I will call back to order. Would the clerk please call the roll and establish quorum?
Thank you. Matt Conant. Nick Avdis.
Here.
Tom Brandis.
Here.
Brian Holloway.
Here.
Cyril Shaw.
Here.
Angelique Ashby. Jeff Harris. Rick Jennings.
Here.
Matt Hedges. Don Natoli. Susan Peters.
Here.
Patrick Kennedy.
Here.
Phil Cerna.
Here.
Do have a quorum.
Thank you.
We have a report out on closed session Government Code Section 54956.8, conference with real property negotiators regarding APN 2740670-022.
Yes, the board unanimously approved accepting Sonnet Garden Grove LLC's most recent counteroffer, authorizing the executive director to execute a purchase and sale agreement and perform any other next actions necessary. The details of the transaction will be available to the public when it's reduced to writing.
Thank you. And I do not have any comments.
You do not have any comments? I have no comment cards. Anybody in the audience like to make a comment? Thank you.
Next up is the Executive Director's Report for March 16th, 2017.
Before you start, Mr. Johnson, I wanted to also welcome Matt Hedges here today as his first, I believe, SAFCA meeting, and welcome to what is always an exciting process.
Now I feel pressured to put him to sleep there. So good afternoon. Just wanted to hit a few items. I was asked earlier if I could put together some bullet points for the board members to use when asked about what the status is in Natomas. And so the next couple of slides, we made a copy I put on the lectern there, but just kind of walking through them real quickly. The Corps has started their bid process. They did award the contract. There was a protest. Once they get into the protest, as we talked about last time, it does involve other federal agencies and starts the federal process. So the Corps is going through that process right now. At this point in time, it's not known for sure when we'll get to construction. Ideally, if everything went perfectly, I think the Corps would hope they could get out into the field in September or October, but knowing how the federal process usually goes, nothing ever goes very perfectly. So we very easily may not get out into the field until next year. And then the Corps does have a couple of other contracts that are ready to go forward with the advertising and the process to award a construction contract for 2018 if funding were available. As you know, we're about 5.5 months into the federal fiscal year. The continuing resolution that Congress passed earlier expires April 29th. They're working on a number of bills, whether they're looking at either omnibus, where they're putting them all together, or a series of smaller bills to do the 12 appropriation acts that they have to do. So we're going to see whether or not, once the 17 appropriations bills finally get passed, if there's additional funding in there for those other contracts. And then also the Corps did give us contacts that I put on the bottom there. So just that's the information we have generally right now on that. Okay, changing gears a little bit. Over to the state, on February 17th, Senator Pan introduced legislation, SB 580, on our behalf. So remember last December, the federal level, they authorized our general reevaluation report at the federal level, which included widening the Sacramento weir and bypass, and then levee work down in the pocket area up in the north area, and then erosion control work. What this legislation does is it takes the authorized SAFCA projects at the state level and adds that authorization as a state authorization. So this is important as we go forward seeking state funds, that we do have a state authorized project also. So we'd like to thank Senator Pan for carrying that for us. Okay, earlier today, the President released what he called his proposed budget blueprint for FY 2018. It was a high level. It only had grand totals. It didn't have the specific projects. We won't see that until about the May timeframe. The total in there for the Corps of Engineers is $5 billion. To put it in perspective, the 17 President's proposed budget had $4.6 billion in. Now, really, it's just a comparison because the President's 17 proposed budget never got acted on. The continuing resolution was based on $16, and then the Senate and House have put together our water and energy appropriations bill for 17 that is kind of hung up with some of the other ones. They have $6 billion in for the Corps of Engineers for 17. So that's what the Corps has been planning their program for this year on. So the $5 billion in the 18 proposed budget is about a 16% reduction from what the Corps will have in 17. So you can kind of see the challenges we're going to have moving forward as we try to compete for some of the federal dollars there. Okay, I wanted to change.
Director Stern, I believe has a question.
Yeah.
Now, all of us have been kind of reading the media reports about the administration's proposed, high altitude budget. A lot of what we're reading, there's frequent mention of a later infrastructure package that has been used as a placeholder for a lot of things, it seems. Do you see that being a placeholder for any of the Corps' activities, or is that going to be much more distinct as a line item issue?
From what we've seen so far on the proposed infrastructure package, they're trying to minimize any federal cost and have it paid for primarily through private sector by incentivizing private investment. So the problem we're trying to figure out how we can fit in is we don't really have a product for flood, like they're talking toll roads, they're talking tax incentives for federal credits for energy, things like water where you can recover costs. So we're going to have to see what those details are. On the surface, we're not seeing a real good connection at this point, but again, the devil's always in the details on those.
But I assume that you have been talking with our lobbyists back in DC about that very issue and how best to at least begin a conversation about the general opportunity of some kind of a match, or I mean, we certainly have plenty of history with local governmental contribution and tax dollars that are derived locally or statewide. But it's something that I wanted to make mention of here today because it's come up in a number of conversations already today as it relates to transportation and other infrastructure financing.
Yeah, no, that's an absolutely good point, and it does go a long way back there. We can show how much money we've advanced, put forward on that. So absolutely, yeah, we're going to continue that messaging.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So just wanted to talk a little bit about levee slope stability. We've talked a lot about seepage, putting in slurry walls to cut the seepage off and everything. But the storms the last couple of months have, again, emphasized another component of our projects, and it's included in the projects, but I haven't really talked much about it. So I just wanted to touch on it a little bit. And that's the levee slope stability. This particular picture, you can see this is down at the lower end of the Yolo bypass system. This is the landside levee. It's a slope failure there. And I do want to, I put this picture up because we're all aware Highway 50, every time we get a big storm like this last month that was closed for several days, old highway, the very steep cuts on the not very sound material, when it gets wet, it slides down. And the same thing occurs with levee slopes. This is actually here in Sacramento County. Tyler Island, the county had to issue an evacuation warning for the island. This is a levee slope stability failure from the same reason. You got bad material, too steep of a levee slope, and the levee tends to slide. So ideally, we'd all like to live behind brand new levees that are built with modern equipment and modern techniques. This is a graphic Dan Tibbetts used at Executive Committee. I borrowed from him. Kind of shows what ideally we'd like: a good foundation, good material, slopes that are stable. Unfortunately, these pictures are actual pictures from the construction of our levee system in the Sacramento River. Dredging, either whether it's suction dredge or clamshell dredging. Material ended up mostly sandy silt, often very steep slopes. We've gone in and put slurry walls in to try to cut off the seepage, but the problem on the levee stability is on the water side, the rivers still saturate the slopes. And once they're wet, if they're not good material or too steep, they tend to slide. And then on the water side, when we have situations like we had the last couple of months where they've got soaked with all the rain. And we saw a couple of dozen that I'm aware of levee slides in the system, up and down the system here. So to fix it here, ideally you'd like to build a new levee, but where we live with all the homes right there, the most practical way to address it is to flatten the slope, bringing in some new material, and laying the slope out. So you'll hear sometimes the terms as we move forward with the projects that we're doing slope flattening. That's what it's referring to. We're trying to get the slopes of the levees to a position where they're not going to fail when they get wet. And we certainly can't afford to have something like this happen in the Thomas or in the Pocket or in any of the other areas around Sacramento. So I talk a lot about seepage. The last storms we had a lot of these type of failures, so I just wanted to mention that that's also part of these projects as we move forward. And then finally, Chair Kennedy and Vice Chair Advis and myself and Jason will be the first week in April back for our advocacy trip, and we'll be traveling, Jason and I will be traveling back on that Thursday, so we won't be here for that committee, so we're going to cancel that, so just making you aware. So I'll take any questions with that.
Any questions? Nope. Thank you very much.
Consent matters, items 1 through 8 are in order.
2 through 8.
Move consent.
Moved by Vice Chair Abdus, second by, I believe, Director Jennings? Oh, well, that was good, huh? My ears are a little plugged up. All those in favor? Opposed? Abstained?
Thank you. Item 9, resolution number 2017027, delegating authority to the executive director to award the contract for the North Area Streams Levee Improvement Project, contract number 4355, Sacramento County, California, to the lowest responsive and responsible bidder, authorizing the executive director to execute the contract and approving an appropriation adjustment request in the amount of $23.5 million to fund the North Area Streams Levee Improvement Project, contract 4355. The appropriation portion of the resolution requires a 4/5 approval of members present to pass resolution. With the 10 members present, that means 8 members need to approve to pass the resolution. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Pete Gelfi, Director of Engineering. I tried to find a longer title for Lindy to read, but I was unsuccessful. This is the first major construction contract we have with our levee accreditation project. It is along Arcade Creek and the NEMDEC. As the contract amount shows, it's for about $23.4 million. It involves strengthening about 3.7 miles of levee. We are ready to award, and this action allows you to delegate that authority to the executive director to execute the contract with the low bidder, which was Great Lakes Nordic. They're a joint venture on this job, and we are excited about being able to get out in the field this year and start strengthening the levees around town. This project also includes the appropriation to fund this work. It wasn't in the original budget being set up for the fiscal year 16-17. We did sell bonds, and those funds are now available for us to use. We just need that appropriation to occur.
Director Shaw.
Thank you. Am I correct in reading the table that we only received one responsive bid?
Yeah, we were surprised that we only had one responsive bid. We were for sure going to get a second bid until one of the subcontractors realized they need a California license. And so the prime that was teaming with them didn't know about that till the day of the bids, and so they withdrew their bids. But I think this job is a little challenging. It's in a neighborhood. There's a lot of utilities that kind of prohibits it from being a standard slurry wall job where they have long reaches without interruptions. So we think some of the bidders shied away from the complications of that work.
That makes sense. And I just want to be sure that if we dug into this much detail when we budgeted for it, is the bid amount, is that in line with what we as an agency would estimated that this work would cost? So
it was. When we first put the job out to bid, when they initially developed the plans, they thought it was going to be between $25 and $27 million. Then as we refined the work, the final engineer's estimate was a little over $20 million, and so it came in at 23.4, which is about 13% over the estimate. But we think that is reasonable. One of the things that we did at the very end of the job, and the contractor had to adjust for it, is due to potential delays in getting real estate from Union Pacific Railroad, we added an extra year for the construction sequence, and we think that brought up the price a little bit as well.
Thank you.
But we're hoping that avoids any type of delay claim that we may encounter. So.
Okay. Any other questions? Is there a motion?
So moved. Second.
Moved by Director Jennings, second by Director Conant. Why don't we do a roll call vote for the 4/5?
Thank you. Director Abdus?
Yes.
Director Barandis?
Yes.
Director Conant?
Yes.
Director Hedges?
Yes.
Director Holloway?
Yes.
Director Jennings?
Yes.
Director Kennedy?
Aye.
Director Peters?
Yes.
Director Cerna?
Cerna? Oh, aye.
Director Shaw?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And our remaining item is receive and file.
Okay, are there any comments or questions of board members at this time? We're adjourned.
32 minutes.